The tweets. President-elect Donald Trump calling for punishment for flag burners, stripping them of U.S. citizenship, jail time. Of course it's unconstitutional, but it's about what Trump wants. It's unconstitutional to punish someone for burning the flag. It is constitutional to burn the flag. Of course, we don't like it, but free speech is often about protecting what you don't like, or at least it was. Let's discuss what the implications are from what we see the president-elect wanting to do in this area with CNN senior legal analyst and former federal prosecutor Jeffrey Toobin and CNN media analyst and author of The War for Late Night, Bill Carter. First the law, then the ethics of the situation. The law, clear when it comes to flag burning, just because we don't like it. 69, 89, it's been ratified many times in the Supreme Court. But it goes to the window of what Trump sees the First Amendment as in terms of what to protect and not to protect. How so?
Well, I mean, you know, if you went to a Donald Trump rally, one of the highlights was always when he would point to the media and say, they're scum, they're dishonest, they're horrible. And the way I interpret that is he thinks the media is scum and dishonest and horrible. I mean, I think there is genuine distaste. Now, the question is that just his opinion, which of course he is free to have, or will that have implications in how the law is administered in this country? Right. I don't think we know the answer to that at this point. Certainly in terms of press access, he does appear to be heading towards cutting back on press pools and you know, sort of the White House operation. Hasn't given a press conference since he's won. That's right. Doesn't do news interviews with any regularity. But that is certainly within his rights as president, and you know, he's riding a height of popularity now, as all presidents are when they win. The question is, when he gets in the White House, and every White House is embattled to a certain extent, how he will react. Will he reach out and try to get in front of the public more, or will he close the doors even further? Right, so that's what we're trying to figure out. And any one tweet, you know, his supporters say that we take this stuff way too literally. Right. And that there's all this hue and cry about one flag-burning tweet that's apropos of very little, and we all, you know, gallop off to freak out about it. But if you look at the sum total of what he has said.
This is a consistent message.
And it's worrisome.
It is.
And let me just remind people what he said about libel laws during the campaign when he didn't like some of the coverage of him. Here's what he threatened. Listen to this.
One of the things I'm going to do if I win, and I hope I do, and we're certainly leading, is I'm going to open up our libel laws so when they write purposely negative and horrible and false articles, we can sue them and win lots of money.
Okay, so hard to know now what he will do in the White House, but that was certainly a shot across the bow.
Right, and a lot of this is about completely getting rid of dissent. He doesn't want dissent. He doesn't react very well to dissent, and a lot of the tweets that he sends out are in instant reaction to some criticism about him. And that's really what this broad purpose is. He doesn't like people setting fire to the flag because they were protesting him. He doesn't mind if someone stands up and says Sig Heil enough to complain about that. That's equally protected speech, but equally despicable. And he isn't going after that because it's not criticizing him. I think it's basically his nature to be thin-skinned, and he reacts. And frankly, the president, when he's the president, everything he says has impact. You can't tweet out something as a president and say, I'm just kidding around about it, or it's just, I'm just making
words matter.
His
ignorance also works against him also, because as an insurgent, as a private citizen, you can attack the laws as the other, as the system. Now he's going to be the steward of it. So not only is it wrong to say, I'm going to redo the libel laws, because obviously the president doesn't do that. Or can he have Kellyanne Conway threaten to sue his critics? Remember when she did that? Hey, be careful what you say. Right. You know, because they don't understand. The president of the United States has open and unlimited access for critics. You can come at him all day and not be sued for defamation. So he doesn't understand the law, and he doesn't understand that he's a steward of how you do things in America to keep it open and free. And that's the concern.
That is the concern, but I also think, you know, he is tapping into feelings that a lot of people share in this country. That, you know, the media is a juicy target for him because, you know, we think of ourselves as stewards of, you know, the Constitution. We think of ourselves as the representatives of the public. A lot of the public doesn't see us that way. They see us as an insulated elite that pursues our own interests as opposed to the public interest. And when he attacks the press and when he attacks the cast, he is tapping into feelings that a lot of people share.
Right, but it's Orwellian to think that, okay, so get rid of them, problems will be solved, right? And that if you just have a straight filter from the White House to the people, well, that's called, you know, North Korea.
That's true, and you know, that I think we are a long way from North Korea at this point, and I will remain, and I think we're likely to remain that way. But the question I have is, you know, his opinions are, you know, he's perfectly entitled to his hostile opinions. The question is, once he becomes president, what can he do that will really impact
on our
work? And I don't know.
Nobody,
I mean, for example,
nobody knows that
statement
answer.
about libel.
But luckily, he's very
anything about libel.
Laws, and he can't change the Constitution to make it, you know, a crime.
But he can appoint judges. But he can appoint judges who are less interested. And one of the things that even this very polarized Supreme Court is pretty unified about is protections for the First Amendment. You know, the Westboro Baptist Church, this horrible church that protested, you know, at soldiers' funerals, their rights were protected in an 8-to-1 decision. I mean, it's really bipartisan First Amendment rule.
Well, one of the conservatives, they always talk about originalists, and they want to protect the Constitution, and this sounds like something that undermines the Constitution.
They also believe
remember,
government.
One of the big reasons for the First Amendment in this, and all of the discussion about it in the amendments, was dissent against government. Because they were worried about a tyrannical government and trying to seal opinion. The irony that we're hearing it from Trump today. Gentlemen, thank you very much. Appreciate it. We're following a lot of news this morning. There's some important weather information to get you. Let's get right to it.
The people he selected are solid, effective, capable people.
He's got a choice to make as to who he feels most comfortable with.
Washington Republicans plotting a war on seniors. Democrats will not let them win.
The president-elect touting a deal to save 1,000 manufacturing jobs in Indiana.
If he does it, kudos to him.
I will believe it when I see it.